preparing to live stream the meeting. Okay. Okay, I think we're live. Preparing.
Oh, yeah, I see you on YouTube.
Yeah, there's a little delay. Great. Okay, so I'm going to control copy the. Okay, I think we're live. Preparing.
Oh, yeah, I see you on YouTube. And would you please turn off the sound on YouTube?
I'm going to. Oh, yeah, you're right. There we go. Now I go back to Zoom. Okay, we're live. Did I send in that enter?
I will send on Facebook our link now.
Okay. I think I should go to my Feng Shui interior design too, huh? This is all new to me, so we have to learn as we go. Yeah. If I can get into my group. Okay.
Okay, I've published it on my Facebook page.
Uh-huh. That's great.
So I hope people will join, will see, will watch.
Great. Okay, and then I'll publish it in my interior design group. And see if we, we're live on YouTube now. Join us.
Did somebody join us?
I don't know, but I will.
Do you have a request below in the menu? You can see the number of participants, and sometimes there some requests appear.
I see.
If no, then I hope people join on Facebook.
Yeah. So right now it just says 2 participants. I have to look at that. Is that correct?
Yes, 2 and me, 2 participants.
Okay. And if that number increases, that means somebody.
Yeah, if somebody want to join, he or she will click. You will see the request. You approve, and then we have 3, then 4, and more.
I see.
But on YouTube, I'm not sure. We will see. You should see the number of people watching on YouTube.
I
on
see.
Your channel.
I see. Okay, let's give it a try. Okay, let's start.
Okay.
So hi everybody, I'm Jenny. I'm an interior designer and a Feng Shui consultant. I design spaces that bring people together that have a lot of energy. That's what I like. That's the kind of spaces I like. And today with me, I have my Feng Shui colleague, Taras. Hi, Taras.
Hello.
And you can tell us
where everybody.
You're, a little introduction. Give us a little introduction of yourself.
Yes. Yeah. I'm from Ukraine. I live in Kyiv. I represent Blue Mountain Institute in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And I practice Feng Shui from 2001 when Dr. Su first arrived to Kyiv. I was his translator for his lectures and for his consultations in the city. And later I started practicing by myself, giving consultations and giving lectures and continue now until now. And also I practice Qigong, meditation, and last year we started with my wife and our partner, we started a online magazine, tea store. So we order tea from China, from our Chinese friends, tea friends who live in mountains. And there are small farmers who collect tea, small parts of tea, and it's not a big amount, like not big factories, big clients, but like small farms who sell inside China mostly, and from time to time they send to friends, sell to friends, and we became partners, and now we represent very good high quality tea from several Chinese provinces, and especially from Dr. Su, because as you know, if people read his book, The Medicine Box, Dr. Su mentioned some celestial drink. So Dr. Su started to produce this drink in Beijing, and for the production, he uses tea as a substrate. And
That's right.
yeah. And he was looking for very high quality tea all over China. And finally, he found very good red tea. We on the West we call it black tea, but in China they call it red tea.
That's
And
right.
he found very good red tea. He has very good aroma, good quality of smell and aftertaste. And actually, he is very clean, no chemical addition to the soil and to the plants, tea plants.
Yeah, he told me about finding the tea, and even if they say it's organic, he says, you have to test it, because they could say anything.
Yeah.
But he says, so everything has to be tested to make sure it really is organic, because it really affects the flavor of the end product.
Right. And Dr. Su tested it in his lab,
Yes.
laboratory in Beijing, and it was very clean, very pure. And later he found white tea, and the quality of smell, aftertaste of white tea was even higher than in red tea.
Oh.
So they apply also white tea. So we ordered both, and now we have this unique collection of red and white tea from Dr. Su. And the most popular among our tea collection, we have around 30 kinds of tea, but these red and white are very popular, especially white tea, because in this situation with coronavirus, white tea, usually for centuries Chinese people drink for health,
Right.
and especially for virus and bacteria diseases. And now it's very useful for people, taking into account the dangerous virus distribution. And we can prove that it works. It works for old people, for young people, for everybody. And white tea it has a very unique quality, because it's the almost or the only tea pregnant women can drink.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Dasha used to drink it even when she was pregnant and when she had milk for kids.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes,
and,
which is breastfeeding. Yeah.
Breastfeeding. And kids were calm before and after tea. But if Dasha drank red tea or puer tea, kids became more,
That's really
active.
No, but it's true. When
not calm and didn't want to sleep.
Oh, interesting. I couldn't drink coffee because coffee would make me kind of shake as well, And so I remember when I had my first cup of coffee after I had my child, my hands couldn't stop shaking because I wasn't used to the caffeine, you know. It was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh my gosh. Yeah. So yeah, the same thing. It goes through, you know, the human body. Absolutely. But
yeah.
yeah, that's you know, obviously everybody's very concerned about the coronavirus. Well, I think we've got somebody listening here.
Svetlana wants to join, I suppose.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have
already joined.
no, I don't have to let anybody join. I have it open so people can join us.
Yeah, yeah.
So it should be fun.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hi, welcome. So where are you from?
I'm from Kiev.
Oh, so are you
Great.
friends of Taras?
What?
Are you a friend of Taras?
Yes, a friend of Taras.
That's great. Thanks for joining us.
Great. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
So here we wanted to talk a little bit about Blue Mountain and what it is, and you know, maybe we could just chit chat about. Well, our main concern right now is the coronavirus. How is it in Kiev?
At the moment, just a second, I will check the number of people who became ill.
Right.
So just the news I received is 549 at the moment, officially. 549 who are ill. And according to health ministry, 13 deaths.
I see.
And 8 people recovered.
Well, that's good.
So there was 69 new illness during 24 hours, the last 24 hours.
So yeah, in the United States, it's, you know.
How many?
Surpassed, let's see now, update. We had a record number of 574 deaths just on Monday.
Incredible.
In one day.
Yeah.
And we have over, was it 164,000? 164,000, that's a huge number.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like in Seattle, you know, everything's closed now. And only the essential businesses can stay open. So if you're not essential, you cannot do business.
Yeah,
So
the same in Kiev, right?
I see. But a lot of people aren't used to staying inside. So a lot of people are going to the parks, and that seems to be a problem right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I live in the country now. So it's really, really kind of a small population. So it's pretty safe. I can kind of walk around and I don't bump into very many people, just animals.
Yeah, great.
The other day, not a llama, what's it called? An alpaca was walking by. And I thought, oh my goodness, I'm in the country.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. But from an energy perspective, you know, because we study about energies, I was talking to Dr. Zhu about the virus. If we talk about energies, we look at a virus as something from the 5 element theory, because there's different kinds of energies. And from a 5 element theory, you know, the 5 elements, there's, for those of you that don't know, in Chinese natural law, there's a theory called the Wu Jing theory, and we have wood, and we have fire, we have earth, metal, and water. And so all of those each represent an energy, right? So a virus is something that spreads. So we look at each element as an energy. So wood would be like a energy that goes up, you know, that kind of upward kind of motion. Fire is more spreading. We have, what do we have here? Earth. And earth, we say, is cooperation. Meadow would be intensive. It's contracting, it's tight. And then for water, we have this kind of spreading, dispersing kind of energy. So a virus right now, it's really spreading and, dispersing. So we call it water energy. And so what do we control water with in the 5 elements? We control it with earth, right? To stop the water. So the best.
This counter relation inside this circle of Usin 5 element theory. There is
Right.
A star. Yeah.
Yeah. So every energy can be enhanced by a different energy, and every energy can be suppressed, right? So when you have this big spreading energy and you want to stop it, how do you stop it? How do you stop water? You can stop water with earth, because if the water's flowing, you can block it with earth. So we say the earth energy, that's how we use it as a metaphor, yeah? And so the best thing, he said, is to stop it is to stay home. Don't go out. So actually, that's the right move to really curb this. But also, we all have to be, really responsible. So I thought, okay, to be responsible is to stay healthy and to keep our immune system strong. So I think what you said is really relevant. We got to drink tea. We've got to, keep our immune system healthy. So any other suggestions for keeping your immune system healthy at this time?
As I mentioned in the beginning, good tea without chemicals.
Yeah.
Good tea is good for immune system and it body, and it's especially good for our mind to keep calm and not worry, not be panic, because if people are calm, relaxed and not panic, their immune system improves automatically. It's automatic relation between emotional state and disease or readiness for virus.
I think that's very true. That's why also meditation, another good way to stay relaxed. And in America, we say, the big problem is we eat too much sugar. And sugar, gets you, gets you hyper and breaks down your immune system. Now, how do you pronounce your name, Svetlana? How do you pronounce your name?
Svetlana.
Svetlana.
Yeah. As it's written, Svetlana.
Oh, okay. So do you have any suggestions how you stay healthy?
First of all, stay at home.
Yes.
Not to bother others. And also drink, of course, tea, good tea, and take lemon.
Oh, that's a good one.
And also could be oils.
Oils, like essence kind of oils, that kind.
Yes, to breathe healthy.
Yeah.
For lungs also, and for good mood.
Very good. That's excellent advice. Excellent.
Yeah.
So like my sister's good friend is a flight attendant, and she gave us a really good message saying they found that the virus likes kind of a mucus, that kind of a environment. So if you, and it most often it goes through your throat. So if you gargle, even with salt water, it's very good. It doesn't allow the virus to get into you. So as soon as you have an itchy throat, they said gargle with salt water. It really helps for this virus. And also to drink lots of hot liquids, soup, teas, anything hot. They said cold is not so good. So because it brings up phlegm. So you don't want any of that phlegm in your throat for this virus. So I thought, oh, that's very good advice,
Yeah,
So
right.
that's one thing we can all do. And of course, wash your hands. I don't know about in Kiev, but there's in America it's like no toilet paper and no hand sanitizer. People are just
We have in the first week everything disappeared from the markets, but now it's enough toilet paper and other goods. People calm down a little bit, and most of them stay home. So it's time for distributors to put
restock.
more,
Yeah.
to stock, to
Yeah. Well,
restore.
that's good because everybody cooperates. But here, people aren't not always cooperating. You know, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's an
Why?
energy.
Why they don't cooperate?
I think there's a lot of misinformation that came out in America, you know, that only affected the older people. You could die if you're old, but you cannot die if you're young. And they didn't understand that it could be transmitted very easily. I think a lot of people were very naive, you know,
Yeah,
that they were strong and they were young and healthy. So I'm not going to get it. And even if I get it, it's not a problem. But they didn't think beyond that, that they could bring it home to their families or bring it, you know, to their workplace where other people will pass it on to pass it on to pass it on. So I think that's the biggest issue. So finally, I think they're realizing, and the timing was not so good. It's just when the universities had their spring break. So
yeah.
everybody was on vacation. They wanted to party, you know. So the timing for America was not very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But same like in Japan. And in Japan, it's kind of just today, a very famous comedian passed away. And he was healthy and 70 years old.
Mhm.
So I think the public is very shocked. You know, when somebody famous dies and somebody that the country loves is very hard. You know, it becomes more of a reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so Dr. Zhu is now in Taiwan. I said, hey, what are you gonna do? He says, oh, I think I better go back. So actually, the reason also is because Taiwan is a really good healthcare system
Yeah.
compared to America. America's healthcare system isn't so good. And so I said, oh, that's a good idea. So he left and he's now safe in Taiwan. And Taiwan is actually one of the most organized countries that have the virus under control. And I didn't know, but apparently the government gave, you know, companies money for them to make the masks immediately to provide the people, and a lot of good cooperation between the citizens and the government to protect their own people. They're very good about that.
Yeah,
He
very
told me
good.
also about their public health system. You go in, and a lot of the people there that are helping, they're volunteers, retired people who are volunteers, so that they keep their health system very affordable. But God, such a good idea, you know? Such a
Yeah, of
good
course.
idea.
Yeah, they're good, very good.
Yeah, they're very what would you say? You know, they as a people, they cooperate very well, you know, very well. That's I think what we lack in America, you know, a little bit too uh self self-centered, you know. Yeah, so maybe this will change us. We have too much greed, too much everything, you know.
But you know, from a biological point of view, I'm a biologist. My first specialty, my first
Okay.
profession is biologist.
Oh.
So from a biological point of view,
Mm-hmm.
it's very good that a living being, especially human being, they
Mm-hmm.
act differently because it's more chance to survive. Because now at the moment, nobody knows exactly 100% what is good, what is not good. no knowledge about 100% sure for something, do or not to do. That's why in any time, centuries ago, thousands, 10,000 years ago, people on different continents, they did different things. They acted differently.
Right.
That's why any population has a chance to survive, like ants or wolves or pines, plants or animals or human beings. If they act differently, they are more able to survive, because everything is changing in our environment. And if we take into account some factors, it's the chance to lose the other factors. It's impossible for people to take into account 100% factors that influence our body, our mind at the moment. So that's why the nature, it's a natural way for any being to act differently for some population. It's my point of view as a biologist.
So you're saying that to act differently will help us survive?
Yeah, it helped now, it helped this time, it helped in the past. It's helpful if in the population 100 animals, plants or people act only in one way, it's more chance to be killed, to be destroyed. Yesterday, I thought very interesting thought about virus.
Okay.
Especially about coronavirus. Coronavirus is not interested to kill people, because coronavirus has ability to live only inside our body. So the interest of coronavirus to grow, to live, and to live, it or he or she is interested in living body, in healthy body, because if a person dies, no home, the virus become homeless.
I see what you mean.
More healthy bodies, more healthy people, more virus distribute in the nature. So it was a point of view of Sadhguru yesterday. It's some of Indian teachers.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
So actually, to have more people have the virus is happier.
Yeah. And he'll be the virus is upset when people die.
I see. Interesting concept.
Yeah.
That's survival of the virus. That's interesting concept.
And what about Dr. Sue? What does he say about virus? About the situation?
We didn't talk too much about it. The only thing was, from an energy perspective, the right thing to do is to stop, to stay home, and that way the virus doesn't have a chance to spread. So that's the only way we can stop it. Don't give it the opportunity, the environment to spread.
Yeah. It's a mantra of this time. If you cannot go outside, go inside.
Yeah, that's a good one. But I think, like, from a yin-yang perspective, our society is too yang, everything is materialistic. We want to buy too many things. We have too many things. We want more excitement, more and more, because we've become quite numb. When you're used to this level of excitement, then it's no fun anymore. You got to go to the next level, and you got to go to the next level. So it's come to a point where, as Dr. Zhu says, we've reached peak yang, and after peak yang, there's only one way, is yin. So it's time for us to look inward. And I think a lot of people will start meditating to cut back and learn to spend more time. In fact, a lot of my friends says they're kind of enjoying being forced to stay home, because if you're not forced to stay home, we don't stay home.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You know, so the situation has made it so we're all forced to stay home and just be looking inward. You know, I have a friend, she's in her late 70s, who says, you know, she tries to keep active to stay young. So she volunteers at the food bank, she goes swimming, she goes hiking. She says, you know, it's important for me to stay active. But she says, I didn't realize I was go, 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 go. I don't stop. So she says, I'm kind of enjoying this. You know, I realize that, hey, you know, it's kind of nice not to go, go, go all the time, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of nice.
And by the way, from this Yin-yang point, Dr. Su said about tea, again about tea.
Okay.
He mentioned that coffee was a drink of 20th century, the Yan drink and the Yan century. But for 21st century, it's a chance to become in century. And the drink for 21st century is tea, because when we drink coffee, we talk about the young issues, politics, economics, money, how about work, about job, about break, just drink coffee and work hard intensively. And when we drink tea, we communicate about family, about nature, about culture. We calm down, we relax.
Yes, and they're finding that there's a lot of health benefits to, you know, tea as well. So I think you're absolutely right. I think it is a yin drink, and you know, in England, um, too, they always say, "Oh, come over for a cup of tea." You know, stop over for a
Right.
cup of tea. You know, and usually tea is something you drink at home. You don't often go out to have tea. You go out in America, at least you go out to have coffee. You know. Yeah, but I think you're right. Having tea is a good way. And they also said the interesting thing is, you know, the teacup shape is different. When
Yeah,
you
it's
think of
different.
coffee, I think of a mug, something with a handle, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think of coffee, or even a small handle. But in general, tea didn't have a teacup doesn't have a handle. And so you use both palms,
Yeah,
you
just
know, and
this way.
you warm your palms too, you know. And so they said when you warm your palms, actually you become calm. The
Right.
heat from the tea is also it does a physiological thing to your body. Even before you drink the tea, the heat from the tea bowl with your palms on the tea cup does wonders too.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Several days ago, I read an article from Taiwanese paper.
Hmm.
Uh, it was a publication of Taiwanese scientists who had some preliminary tests in a laboratory, and
Hmm.
he found out that tea, Taiwanese tea, especially because he studied this kind of tea,
Yeah.
it helped to cure coronavirus disease. And he continues his explorations,
I
but
see.
he already proved, and it's a scientific level magazine and scientific level explorations in the laboratory. So
Wow.
he continue, and maybe in the chat or on your Facebook page, I will send the link. People
Yeah.
can read it.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah,
I think
very
we're
interesting.
heading more and more toward natural things, you know? People have
Yeah.
less um, confidence in the drugs, you know, because of all the side effects. We don't know, it'll help this, but then it'll cause that, you know? So it's important that, you know, I think the, in a funny way, I guess that's more yin too, using more natural herbs, natural medicines, and foods to heal.
Yes.
Yeah. I think especially in America, obesity is one of the biggest problems we're having. There's a lot of people who, I think it's in our food that there's a lot of processed food and a lot of sweet food. They like a lot of sweet things. And, you know, it becomes addictive. Sugar
Yeah.
is very addictive. So a lot of the health issues stem from, I think, food. So if we kind of clean up our act, and now we have to eat at home. We don't have a choice anymore, you know. So it
Yeah.
might be a good time for us to rethink everything.
Yes, and for health issue, Dr. Sue has very good and short health system from 1,000 diseases. Remember, he's a tap and exercises.
Right.
It takes only 20, maximum 30 minutes a day, but if you tap every day, it's very good for everything, especially for immune system. Because if you tap in these joints,
Right.
but mainly you tap on these biological active points of the joints.
Correct.
And these all lymphatic
Yeah, where
nodes,
your lymph nodes are. Yeah.
lymph nodes, yeah, they accumulate just in these places. And if you tap, you automatically improve, reinforce your immune system.
Right.
And especially nowadays, it's very, very important for people who stay home to do tapping every day. We with Dasha, we around 1 week, we tap every day. We started because before we just one day tap, another day not tapping, but now we tap every day, and it's very obvious.
Oh.
The state of health, of mood improves dramatically. Very good. So I would recommend very much for everyone, for young, for old, any age, should do tapping.
Моя Катя.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
you
We
see
got another one.
another
Yeah,
one. Anna joined us.
Hi, Anna. Yeah. Welcome. So yeah, I think it's true. Because you can't go outside. We have to take care of our own body and our own immune system and our own health. I do exercise at home and every day. And I've noticed because, you know, as I get older, my joints hurt. I lost a lot of muscle. So I had to build it up, and I've been exercising on a daily basis for about over 5 months now. And huge improvement on my well-being, but also huge improvement in my clarity in my thoughts. You know, I think it's all the blood circulating. I listened to a podcast by an American psychologist. I think he was a psychologist. And he was saying that he did some experiments doing brain scanning. And what they found was that a lot of times we don't have enough blood circulation to the brain. And so that's why our brain becomes weak, or it becomes, we get sickness from our brain because it's not working properly. So simple things like, you know, tapping your head, you know, brings the blood to the surface, and it really helps all parts of the body. So maybe we should do a tapping session one day.
Yeah, we should, because it's easy and people can watch, repeat, and do it.
Yeah, maybe we should do that. Yeah, how about next week or something? We can do a tapping session.
Good idea. I agree.
Yeah, I think that's really good. So other than that, okay, so it's really important to eat right, to exercise, and drink tea, and what else? We can meditate.
Yeah.
So many things. In America, a lot of people are using apps. Everything is an app now. And but you know, we learn without an app. And I think one of the benefits of meditating without an app is you don't become dependent on an app. You can meditate anywhere, anytime. I think sometimes we become too dependent on our phone or an app. And we think, oh, I can't do it without it. I can't do it without this kind of music, or I can't do it without somebody telling me what to do. We have to train ourselves, and it's natural. And we can then, if we can do it without those things, then it becomes, as Dr. Zeus says, integrated into your lifestyle. And that's the goal, you know, to make it part of your lifestyle naturally, in the most natural way. So you could be anywhere and you can meditate, you know. I think that's important.
Yeah, very important.
Mm-hmm.
And I met people who started practice meditation, and they used to be drugs dependent.
Oh.
With very serious drugs on the last stage of usage. And after they started meditating, Vipassana meditation, the technique of Buddha, when they started to go inside and meditate after the courses, after these retreats, after the meditation 10-day in silence, only in going inside, they some of them, I know several people exactly who used to be on drugs, they were very surprised. They told me, Taras, so I understand why I should pay a lot of money for drugs. Why should I buy drugs if I have already inside the same effect without drugs? It's incredible. I just can sit and get the same results as I used to get before using one or another drug. So it's for them, it was a miracle. It was, you know, huge effect, and their eyes opened because of very simple way to go to get so high, to get so deep and so, you know,
Peace.
Yeah, so peace.
Yeah.
At the same, a lot of trip, inside trip that exceeds with effect and with after effect any other experiences before.
That's wonderful. That's really, really wonderful.
Yeah.
I
So
think that
at home, especially for people who used to travel a lot, who like to visit different countries, different cities, now the meditation is the best way to continue the trips, to continue travel, but on a more deep and bright level, with much more huge and effective effects.
that's a really good point. I think to use meditation as a way to take yourself to a very peaceful state. Actually, I you know, in design, I had a guy that worked with me. He was doing tile, and he said he went to Afghanistan. He used to be in the U.S. military, and he said he didn't actually fight. He was more in the supply section, but he had to go, you know. And so, of course, it's a, you know, you never know what's going to happen. But upon returning, he had post-traumatic, you know, stress syndrome.
Yeah.
And so he said they have special classes for these veterans, and they go, and he says they teach meditation. And he said, it's wonderful. And he says, what I'm angry about is they should have taught us meditation before we went to war, not after we come back. He says, because I needed it then. Why are they teaching us after?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I said, that's a really good point. He said, I'm so mad that's not part of our training before we go, you know? And so I thought, oh, you know, the systems we have are not working, you know? We have to change our system. And he said, you know, I think he was from the Midwest. I'm from Kentucky. You know, I never heard of meditation in my life. You know, I said, oh, he says, you know, nobody knows what meditation is where I grew up. You know, I said, oh, he says, it's so important. Why don't they teach this when we're little as children?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, that's very true. He says, you know, well, then we can use it throughout our whole life. So if you have children, start teaching meditation now, maybe. It really helps, you know? But we don't think about that. We think when we're adults, we need to meditate. But actually, we don't have to wait. You know, and I guess you can call it quiet time. You know, you can give it a different name, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's good if we have small children, we can teach them there's a time to be loud and a time to be quiet, you know? And then maybe it's better for their emotions and they can control. You know, I think that's something that we can think about in trying to help our families have more peace in our family.
especially in this time when the whole family stay home.
Yeah, that's right. I think there's a lot of friction because a lot of times people aren't used to. You know, one guy I know that I in this group with, he said his wife is in the medical field, so she has to go to work, but they have 3 children, infant, what did he say? Maybe about 7 months old, and a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. And usually they go to daycare, you know, in America. You go take them to daycare and then you go to work. But everything is shut. Even the daycare is shut. So the husband now works from home and he has to watch the 3 children. And he said, it's so hard to get any work done. I said, oh, no way. So I said, do they nap? He says, no, they don't nap anymore. Just the baby naps. I said, oh, no. So it's hard on everybody right now. Nobody's used to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have anything you want to say, Svetlana? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I agree with everything you say.
What are you doing? You know, I know you're doing, you know, drinking tea and using herbs. I think that's wonderful, and oils.
Yes, it's all we do is good for our immune system. And it's also very necessary to drink a lot of clean water. And we need vitamin C. So if we have lemon or lime, good to use.
Yeah,
and,
that's wonderful. I think you're doing.
Listen.
Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, listen to good music, for example, and together with meditation, listen to different sounds like sound healing instruments. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really good. That's really calming, isn't it, to listen to instrumental music? Well, those are really, I think we really covered a lot of good ideas, you know, to stay healthy in this stressful time. That's why I think it's good. You know what Dr. Zhu teaches us? It's not just about the feng shui of our environment, but really how to take care of ourselves following nature. you know.
Yeah, and I call it, there is external Feng Shui and internal Feng Shui, because Feng Shui is the science about space, about environment.
Right.
But inside us, there's also environment, also inside space, inner space in our head, in our conscious. So uh, doing everything connected with our health and mind is also Feng Shui, but we can call it inner Feng Shui.
I like that.
And if we organize the space or working space or our bedroom or our kitchen and other rooms, we do external Feng Shui. And Dr. Su combines it and calls everything that is has connection to our life is Feng Shui. It's very universal and it's very practical.
Yes. I think it's a lot of people have misconceptions about Feng Shui, that it has, you know, magical powers, but actually it's just trying to guide us how to live a life with nature and following nature. And as you say, you know, a lot of it is how the outside, our rooms, our environment affect how we feel inside, you know, affects the way we feel. And when we feel a certain way, we act a certain way. So our home should be very nurturing, because then it calms us down. And as you know, when we're calm, we make better decisions. And I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And when we're excited or we're stressed or we have a lot of tension, you know, we don't make as good decisions. So I think, yeah, I think we covered a lot today. That's nearly an hour.
Good start. Yeah, almost
Yeah.
1 hour.
Yeah, I think that's really good. So yeah, we can do this again, and maybe we can choose a topic. I think exercise might be good. You know, like, you know, like you said, you know, the qigong. I started to teach qigong too in my neighborhood at the senior center, but because of the virus, we had to stop. But a lot of the exercises, you know, I do the tapping and the breathing, and we do some meditation and things like that. And everybody's very appreciative, because it says it looks so easy, but we're actually very not tired, but energized at the end. And I said, yeah, that's what we want. We don't want you to be exhausted, you know.
And by the way, we can show some self massage to improve, for instance, our eyes.
Right.
To improve our to relax our eyes. There are some self massage doctors who teach us, because it's very actual, especially now when people watch a lot of internet, a lot of webinars, a lot of TV news, and there is very simple several exercises for the eyes. Then there are exercises for self massage of some points on our hands. It's very easy, and you can do everywhere in any time, sitting on the sofa or staying somewhere or sitting or laying somewhere. And even now, the #1 disease in the world is heart diseases still. And at the end, just quick show of self massage. Please do massage of your this finger,
pinky, we call it, our baby finger.
Baby finger, and middle finger on the right hand and on the left hand, especially for people older than 60 years old, the group of risk. In this way, you calm down your heart, especially when you have a heartache. And it's very good for the whole blood system. So please, you can start even now. It's one of practical advices of our today meeting. Please do self-massage. Just 2 fingers here and 2 fingers here. That's it. And I wish you be healthy. And thank you very much, Jenny, for organizing live conference. for this
enjoyed
very
it.
good initiative. I hope it will be useful for people, and I wish everybody be healthy and wealthy.
Yes, so we wish everybody good health, and Feng Shui is not only about your living environment, that means your whole life, you know, inside the home, outside the home, how you feel, as you say, inner Feng Shui, how we take care of our own bodies and minds and our spirit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks everybody. And we'll see you next time, and stay tuned, and we'll be in touch. So take care. Take care now. And thanks, Svetlana, for joining us.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Svetlana.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.